As a web developer, creating a server is probably not something you have to do every day, but it's a handy skill to have. After all, no server, no website. So I thought I'd show you how I've been doing it lately. First, I set up a new VPS. I'm using Linode. You can use your preferred service. I'll select Ubuntu as the operating system. It's just the one that I'm most used to. And I'll select a region close to the users, which is just me. For this server, we really only need the smallest amount of resources, so that will work. And then we'll give it a good name. Next, every server should have a strong password. And to be honest, I don't even know what that is. I just smashed a bunch of keys because I'm going to be using SSH to access my server. Okay, now we can create our Linode. Once your server is created, you'll have an IP address where that server exists, and you can use SSH to access it. The first time you try to SSH in, you may be prompted with this authenticity warning, and since it's your server, you can probably trust it. The first thing we'll want to do in our new Ubuntu server is run the app update command. Next, we can follow the install instructions on caddyserver.com to install the Caddy server. Once the Caddy software is installed, we'll be able to go to our IP address and we should see the Caddy default homepage. Now, we probably don't want to share this IP address to our users. It's usually nicer to use a domain name. Now, that step is going to be slightly different for everyone because it depends on your DNS registrar. So I'm going to skip that step, but I'll be pointing my domain name to my IP address on my DNS settings. Once you've pointed your domain name, you should be able to go to it and see the Caddy homepage. This may take some time as DNS propagation can take a little while. Conveniently, the Caddy homepage comes with some instructions for hosting a static site, so we'll do that. We'll go to the server and make the directory for our website to exist in. Then we'll add an index.html file into that directory. Next, we'll modify the default Caddy file to serve our website from our new folder. We'll change the :80 to our domain name and change the path to our folder. And we can save the file and exit. The last step is to reload the Caddy service. And after a few moments, we should see our new website. So it's also worth pointing out that Caddy did a couple of cool things for us. First of all, it went out and provisioned an SSL certificate for us. It installed that onto the server, and it set up an HTTP to HTTPS redirect. So if you didn't notice, we're on the little HTTPS version of the website, and if I try to load the HTTP version, it redirects back to the HTTPS version, which is a really nice feature that we didn't have to lift a finger for. Now, if you wanted to make edits to your website, all you'd have to do is change the files on the server and reload the site. You don't need to reload the Caddy service unless you've modified the Caddy file. In this example, I'm using Caddy server as a static file host, but it also works great as a reverse proxy or to serve a PHP website, as well as a lot of other things. If you have any questions or concerns, please throw them in the comments below. And if you have any ideas for things you'd like me to cover in future videos, let me know.